Well, Rishi Sunak most recently, on a beach in France, did more damage to the Tory party than Neil Kinnock did when he fell into the waves in Brighton all those years ago. Prior to that, obviously, Liz Truss, financial mismanagement on a grand scale, didn't last as long as a lettuce lasts in a supermarket, and that was incredibly damaging. And moving back before that, Boris Johnson, we'll have more to say about Boris. His impact on the Conservative Party has been dramatic and devastating. I think we also need to inculpate Cameron, because some of the moves he made, if he hadn't called for the referendum in the 2015 to 2017 period, things wouldn't have gone the direction that they've taken. I think massively self-inflicted. The party has chosen the wrong leaders. Rory Stewart, in his podcast, has been talking about this. He's particularly harsh on Liz Truss and Boris Johnson. The great paradox, though, for me, is that out on the knocker doing canvassing, some of my friends in this general election have been met with this: we're not voting Conservative this time round because they've lost our faith in them. We don't have trust in them. But if Boris came back, we'd vote for them. And I just found that mind-blowing, that Boris, who shredded trust and told lies, is someone that the public, in part, want back. For me, it's Cameron passing the ball badly via the Brexit referendum to Johnson, who then showed us that there's no connection between conservatism and truth, and then fumbling the ball via Truss to Sunak. And then, unbelievably, Sunak has mismanaged the entire election campaign. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. Not understanding the feelings around D-Day and leaving those commemorations early was an own goal of monumental proportions.
As I said, on reflection, it was a mistake not to stay longer, and I've apologised for that.
But without Cameron fearing UKIP in 2015 and calling the referendum and losing the referendum, Sunak doesn't find himself in this place. And without Boris shredding every protocol of truth that has ever existed, Sunak doesn't find himself in this place, facing an apocalypse on Thursday.
Whether I deliberately set out to deceive.
Yeah, her seat's very interesting. There are four main candidates. Rory Stewart has written about the seat, and we've got an independent candidate, we've got a Reform candidate, and we've got a Labour candidate. The best hope she has of holding on is that those three very dynamic, very energetic candidates poll 10,000 each. If that happens, she may just get over the line. But Liz Truss might be vying with Rishi Sunak to be talked about the next morning. Were you up for Liz? Were you up for Rishi? It'll be amazing to see if one or both of them lose on Thursday. Yeah, there was one poll that said they'll end up with 54 seats, and there have been a number of polls suggesting they're going to land in the 90s. I think they'll probably come in around 118, and I think Labour will probably come in below the high water mark of predictions. In fact, I'm going to say Labour are going to come in on 418, which would be a complete repeat of Tony Blair's result in 97. He came in famously with 101 women and 317 men. And I think we're going to see Starmer over the line with an overall majority. It's too late for Rishi. My advice would have been 3 weeks ago, after the D-Day disaster, step down. Similarly, I would have advised in the last electoral cycle, Jeremy Corbyn should have stepped aside before the election because he'd been so battered by the legacy media. So I think Rishi is gone. In fact, I think Rishi wants to go. Rishi would be breathing a sigh of relief and laughing if he loses in Richmond, because he can go back to hedge fund management and becoming a multi-billionaire. Politics was only ever a glitch on Rishi's road. We were the people who experienced the glitch, but he's now going to move on.